Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we are taking a look at Immortals of Aveum. Primarily because it just came on PlayStation Plus. It's the free game, and I played it. So there you go. Did come out last year, didn't sell well, and it resulted in Ascendant Studios laying off almost half of their staff. It cost about 120 million to make, so that's quite a lot. And it was one of the first games set out as an EA original. So I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about its failure. But let's dig into the game outside of the situations that surround it. And it's fine. It's a decent enough time. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's just like right in the middle for me. So you play Jack. You sort of start off as a sort of ragamuffin thief, which is a little sort of band of child followers, very Oliver Twist. And as you are racing to get medicine for one of the children who has suffered a injury whilst stealing a snow globe, because that's a sensible thing to do when you're starving and on the streets. They're not really on the streets, they have a house, but you know what I mean. The town gets invaded by the big bad Sandrak, and all sorts of shit goes off, including the, well, it's never conclusive. You don't see burn bodies or anything, but like the death of Jack's entire troop of ragamuffins. And he gets a bit angry and kind of explodes in a big ball of magical energy. He gets woken up and he gets basically recruited. And 5 years later, he gets made an Immortal of Aveum. So Immortals of Aveum, it's a first-person shooter pretty much, but instead of guns, you have magic. You have three colours of magic. You have blue, green, and red. Blue being sort of long-range, rifle-y type thing. Red being shotgun, basically. And green being machine gun. Unfortunately, it doesn't have aim assist on the console versions. I haven't played it on PC. I imagine I'd have a better time with it there, because mouse aiming is much better. So I tend to stick with the green one, because not only is it machine gun, it also homes in on the target.
Me, right? Wow.
Oh, sorry about that. I should not have had a bag of Doritos before doing this. I always make that mistake. I'm sorry. I was a little bit gassy for the video. Yeah, well. So you switch. This is one of the problems with it. If I'm perfectly honest, you switch it by pressing triangle, which sounds fine, but if you want to get to like green and you're on blue, you have to cycle through blue and red, and to get to green it just goes round in a circle like that. So instead of having like a shortcut, like if you could press the button to swap between two and then like maybe hold it for the third one, something like that, just so you get straight to the one you need to use, because it is quite fast paced and there are enemies in the game which you'll do better with certain types of magic. You can change and upgrade your magic. There is an ascendancy sort of board where you get ascendant points to spend on them, and you can make. I've been obviously powering the green because aiming, but there you go. But so you can do that. You also get bigger spells. So you have your basic fire sort of pew pew spell out of your gauntlet. But you also have ancillary items, so you get a whip which you like lash onto people and pull them to you. You get a limpet which slows them down, stuff like that, and you get a watch that melts people's faces off. That's the red one, in case you haven't guessed. You also get spells that you can cast, so bigger spells, so you could do like a ring of like energy that blows people back and kills them if you're lucky. Or just a wave of like shards come up through the ground. It's all based around mana. Generally, your regular firing doesn't use up mana. These spells do. You have three. You start off with three segments of mana, and you can get skills to regenerate them, or you can pick up mana stones and you kind of smash them onto your gauntlet, and it regenerates your mana, and you can cast again. You also get a sort of uber spell. Where he sort of puts his wrists together and does like a Kamehameha. Did I say it right? I'm not really a big Dragon Ball guy, but that's the kind of thing he does. And you fill up a meter as you fight that tops off, and you can use that, and you can move that around and aim it, which means I waste a lot of it because aiming on joypads is never good, just never. I mean, you can set the sensitivity of both the stick and the dead zone, but there's no like aim assist, which is just dumb on consoles, because unless you're using a mouse on a console, I haven't tried that. I might try that. It just doesn't work as well as mouse and keyboard. That's easily the best setup for that. I know lots of people play first-person shooters on consoles, and God bless you. I have trouble with it. I just say. And to add to my troubles, there's quite a lot of platforming in this game as well. And as we've all seen before on this channel, I am not very good at platforming. I think I may have won the award for Understatement of the Year on that one, but I am not. I just can't do it, especially first-person platforming. That's at least like in third person I can see where my character is, but like in this, it's just like, oh no, there's no floor to this shit. He does have some abilities that help you with that. You gain them pretty quickly. You start off with double jump, and then you get the ability to hover as well. So obviously you jump again, and then you hold it, and you'll do the hover. The hover lasts for a few seconds, and you can just go forward, and well, you can move around basically, and just fine-tune your jump, which is very handy for me because of my complete rubbishness at jumping in first-person games or games at all. There are the graphics, very nice. I didn't notice too many frame rate issues. There's no setting to adjust, like have a performance mode or a ray trace mode or something like that. There's none of that in it. You can't even alter the HDR, which is a shame because some of the graphics seem a bit oversaturated, over bright. Which is not saturation, you know what I mean. It's like the white balance is off. And like there is a lot of shit going on screen as well, because there's a lot of bright, colourful, magical effects. Well, I say bright, but it's too white basically. But outside, the graphics are quite nice. You can pick them apart a little bit if you look really closely, but as a whole, they work quite nicely. There's some big ass boss battles. The first one is with a dragon. I think he's called a burrower, or it's something that's non-dragony, but he's essentially a dragon, right? And you fall into a little arena which is, just the right size for fighting a dragon, and you're like, oh, I'm going to fight the dragon. Here we go, to fight the dragon. And it's just, learning his attacks, jumping out of the way. He puts out like streams of fire, and you jump them or duck them or move out the way of them, that sort of thing. He sort of strafes you and tries to grab you, things like that, dragony things, and you just shoot him a lot with your gauntlets, and that does that, really. There are quite a good variety of enemies in the game, I will give it that. Some, you have like grenadiers, you have like archers, all sorts, but big tanky boys, guys with flails, lots. You just end up having to learn how to deal with them, really. But they do sort of mix them in. So while you're like, because like the magic is good for some things and not so good for other things, you're constantly flipping around, and it makes it a little bit harder than it perhaps needs to be with having to like cycle through the three magics. But Jack is like very important because he can wield all three, which is the game. Most of the other Magnuses, they call them. So I suppose that's spell people, can only access really one school of magic, and Jack can access all three, so he's like uber powerful and like the chosen, the thing, right? He's the hero of the game, of course, you do have some backup characters. So you have Devin, who is fucking annoying. He's clearly supposed to be the comic relief, but it's in that dry way that he thinks is funny, and some people, I guess, think is funny as well, but I don't find it funny. I just find it snide and conceited. So he's not a great character. And then you've got oh god, what's her name? The girl. I want to say it's Zendaya, but that's Mary Jane, isn't it? So not her. I'm gonna have to cut this out while I go away and find the fucking name, aren't I? That's gonna annoy me. God. Zendara! There we go. I didn't have to use Wikipedia at all. I know things, me. Zendara, she basically looks like... The expression she has on her face is like someone slapped her. Someone that's covered in shit slapped her. Someone that's covered in shit and is about 4 feet tall and... I don't know, is a white man slapped her. Because she has this look on her face that is sour the entire fucking time. I just... Oh. She kind of... She does change over the course of the game, but when you meet her, she's just like the most slappable person, which is probably why she's also 7 foot tall and built like the Incredible Hulk. Now, normally I would be like, well, no one can get that buff without, you know, aid. Looking at you, The Rock. In real life, right? That's normally a complaint I would have, especially a girl. She looks, I can't remember her name, but Brazilian MMA fighter, black belt jiu-jitsu, huge. Was in freak show matches with that Japanese female pro wrestler that's like 55, 60 and beat the fuck out of her. Anyway, she looks kind of like her. And she's totally natural as well, I'm sure. Hey, no, she's not, trust me. But, I mean, it's magic, so she obviously had, like, a blessed dildo or something that she used and pumped herself up with, so whatever, we can let her get away with that, I suppose. But, yeah, she's huge. I'm sure she doesn't have full range of motion in any of her limbs. She's that stacked. And she's not particularly nice either, so I know she does melt as the game goes on, I know, but like first impressions are everything, aren't they? That's why everybody hates me, because I have resting murder face, so when they see me for the first time, and I don't notice them, they're like, he's a miserable asshole, isn't he? I mean, they're right, but fuck, that's a leap to make, isn't it? Jesus Christ. So, Immortals of Aveum, I'm having enough fun with it. I mean, for me, it's a free game. Kind of free, because, you know, PlayStation Plus. But outside of that, you know, if I'd, like, spent full whack on it, 60, 70 quid, yeah, I might have a different opinion. I mean, I've spent, you know, full price amount on games I didn't like before, or didn't think were great before. It's just something that happens, which is why I like, you know, PlayStation Plus. I got the Uber Premium thing, where it's like, I can download or stream tons of games off of it, and I have Game Pass as well. I prefer that because I'm just playing a flat rate that's not going to break the bank, and I can try out a lot of games. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. And you know, you get free games as well, as long as you're still a PlayStation Plus member. I remember when I had to cancel it at one point, and yeah, half my library disappeared. That was fun. But I guess that's the things you deal with. Anyway, back to this, because I am drifting, as tends to happen in my rants, or just rambles. I don't think it's particularly ranty today, but definitely a ramble. So, yes, Immortals of Aveum, perfectly serviceable game, perfectly decent to play. I don't mind it at all. It's relatively fun. I like the idea of, like, the magic first-person shooter. We've seen it before with, like, Hexen or Heretic being the predecessor to that, and also like Battle Mage. I think there was like a pre-name to that, but it was Battle Mage. I've got that. It's very more arcadey than Battle Mage. Battle Mage was quite difficult, whereas this is more like Twitch reaction shooter, which is to be expected because Ascendant Studios was, at that time, because obviously they've lost half their staff now. I don't know if they're still in operation. I could check, but I'm too lazy. Well, it was comprised of a lot of ex-Dead Space and Call of Duty team members. So, you know, to have it be a little bit more arcadey, a little bit more twitchy, that's to be expected. It is good. I mean, if you've got PlayStation Plus, I'd recommend giving it a try. There's no... Yeah. If you're getting it for free anyway, give it a go. I wouldn't recommend buying it. I mean, if what you're seeing on screen, and I had to capture like more footage than normal because where I decided to capture from at that point I didn't realise was basically just the intro to the society, so it was a lot of talking and doing a training course, and I was like, oh crap, this is not interesting, I've got to play more. Not that I didn't mind playing more, but it was just like I apportioned time for it and it got away with me because I had to play like for a lot longer. But we did eventually get to some actual proper magic-y battle-y stuff, so I've included that in the footage rather than me just listening to people. I mean, there's one face you will recognise in this probably, is Gina Torres. Obviously, she's probably most well known from Firefly, but she was also Jasmine in Angel, and she was in Cleopatra number. I can't remember the number, but there's 4 numbers. They're like the futuristic thing, and she was like one of the lead ladies in it who were all very attractive. And Gina Torres remains attractive, although she is getting a bit old, to be fair. But yeah, still nice. Still would visit if I wasn't married. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, guys, that's been me going on for far too long about Immortals of Aveum. If you like the video, do me a favour. I just, you know, YouTube stuff. Do I even need to tell you guys? You guys know. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, well, you could dislike it, but it will hurt me. No, it won't, because YouTubers are afraid of spoiling my fragile sense of fragileness. I'm not sure that came out right, but you know what I mean. YouTube are a bit protective of their creators getting downvoted, unless you have plugins. I suspect that's more for Disney than for myself, though, so there we are. Take it easy, guys, and I'll catch you next time.